Secretary will call the roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Glazer, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Wesso, Huff, Jackson, Latta, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wykowski, Wolk.
Secretary notices an absence of a quorum. Members, could you please come to the Senate floor? Secretary, please call the roll.
Allen, Anderson, Bates, Bell, Berryhill, Block, Canella, De Leon, Fuller, Gaines, Galgiani, Glazer, Hall, Hancock, Hernandez, Hertzberg, Hill, Wesso, Huff, Jackson, Latta, Leno, Leyva, Liu, McGuire, Mendoza, Mitchell, Monning, Morlock, Morrell, Wynn, Nilsson, Pan, Pavley, Roth, Runner, Stone, Vidak, Wykowski, Wolk.
Secretary notices that there's lack of a quorum. Members, please come to the Senate floor. Could we have the sergeants please speak to the senators about getting to the Senate floor? A quorum is present. Would the members and our guests beyond the rail and in the gallery please rise? We'll be led in prayer this afternoon by our chaplain, Sister Michelle Gorman, after which please remain standing, and we'll be led in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag by Senator Pat Bates.
Let us recall that we are in God's presence. God of loving kindness and mercy, we ask you to quiet us, that out of still spaces we may hear your word. May we walk with faith all the days of our lives, aware of the interdependence of all living things, and come to know you in everything and in each other. Quiet us, O silent speaker, that out of still spaces we may hear your word. From the galaxies and the furthest stars to the smallest atom in our heart, you are the living flame of love. May we see your divinity in the within and the without of all things. Quiet us, O silent speaker, that out of still spaces we may hear your word. Gather us together, O healing presence, that we may live in peace with all people and bring glory to your name. Amen.
Members and guests, please join me in pledging allegiance to the flag of our great nation. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Members, under privileges of the floor, Senator McGuire. If we could please remain quiet as Senator McGuire has an opportunity to make his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. President and members. The California State Senate is honored to host Lake County Heroes Day today. We are here this afternoon to remember the victims of the deadly Valley Fire in the great county of Lake. We're also here to recognize the bravery of everyday heroes who saved thousands of lives during the third worst wildland fire in our state's history. And we are here to celebrate a community who is rising out of the ashes and rebuilding stronger than ever. To begin our brief ceremony, Mr. President, would respectfully ask all to please rise as the CAL FIRE Honor Guard from Local 2881 presents the colors and enters the chambers. Color Guard, please present the colors. (2015) represented a devastating year for the great people of Lake. 3 major wildland fires, the Rocky, Jerusalem, and the deadly Valley Fire, rocked Lake County's tight-knit communities to the core. In total, the deadly Valley Fire scorched 76,000 acres, caused $1.2 billion in damage, destroyed 1,330 homes, and nearly 1,900 businesses and agricultural buildings were lost. And the fire cost 5 Lake County residents their lives. 20,000 had to be evacuated in just a matter of hours, which is why both the governor and the president declared major disasters. That said, when tragedy struck in Lake County, federal, state, and local partners, along with thousands of volunteers, rose to the occasion in the county's toughest hours, including many with the state of California who we'd like to recognize today. We'd like to be able to introduce Mark Garaducci, the Director of California Office of Emergency Services, Avery Brown, the Assistant Commissioner of the California Highway Patrol, Ken Pimlott, Director of CAL FIRE, Scott Smithline, Director of Cal Recycle, and Malcolm Dougherty, Director of Caltrans. CAL FIRE, CHP, Caltrans, Cal Recycle, and Cal OES, during the initial response and now as part of the recovery efforts, have been outstanding. From day one of the fires, the state of California and the many employee teams who are at the heart of the agencies just mentioned have been dedicated to the response and recovery and now rebuilding process in what is now known as the poorest county in California, the County of Lake. While there is a lot of work in front of us, members, the State Senate would like to be able to say thank you. CAL FIRE assigned more than 10,000 firefighters to fight the blazes. Thousands more poured in from across the state and nation. 4 CAL FIRE firefighters were burned over and injured during the initial response effort, and they continue to recover. And we are grateful that they are here with us today. The Office of Emergency Services, on behalf of Assemblymember Bill Dodd and myself, we cannot thank them enough. This agency was and continues to be the coordinated agency for all state efforts in Lake County, from resource management to organizing the National Guard, and now making sure recovery funds continue to flow. OES has been the rock. Cal Recycle's cleaned up 1,220 of the 1,300 burned out houses, and over 188,000 tons of debris have been removed in just 16 weeks. CHP and Caltrans, these 2 agencies have gone above and beyond their duty, and we are forever grateful. At a time when many are angry at the government in this nation, which I think we all understand, we want to take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate when government not only works, but is helping to deliver to ensure communities can thrive for the decades to come. On behalf of the California State Senate, we honor Governor Brown, our pro tem, for their support, and those state agencies who have been a driving force in the response, recovery, and rebuilding efforts in Lake County. At this time, would like to be able to invite the directors and senators that would like to be able to take a photo and present them a resolution on behalf of this great body. Mr. President, a second and final recognition. We knew on day one, September 12th, that this fire was unprecedented. And two organizations in particular stepped up to help recover and rebuild. And that is the Redwood Credit Union and the Press Democrat. Working with these two organizations, especially Steve Falk, the CEO of the Press Democrat, a long-standing newspaper on the North Coast, as well as Brett Martinez, president and CEO of RCU, the Lake County Fire Victims Relief Fund was founded just hours after the fire started. In a matter of weeks, the fund raised an astounding $2.5 million from over 12,000 donors. 100% of every donation has gone to the victims of the Lake County fires. The contributions that the fund has made to the survivors of this tragedy reflect charitable giving devoted to the highest ideals of community service. The great people of the North Coast, the Golden State, and dozens of staff members in this building, and I get emotional thinking about it, donated their hard-earned dollars to their neighbors in need. We cannot say thank you enough for your generosity. On behalf of the State Senate, we'd like to recognize the organizers of the fund and would like to be able to present them with a resolution as well. Finally, members, despite thousands of residents being evacuated because of the ferocity of the fire, not all were able to leave their homes in time. 5 community members perished in the blaze, and I would like to ask the Senate to recognize a moment of silence for the victims and their families. Thank you. Please keep the victims and families in your thoughts and prayers. We're grateful that so many came from Lake County today to remember and to celebrate. And Cutler Guard, can you please retire the colors?
Thank you, Senator McGuire. Assemblyman Bill Dodd. CAL FIRE, our thoughts and prayers go out to the thousands of victims and those who lost their lives. Senator Berryhill, for what purpose do you rise?
Yeah, Mr. President, I also would like to add to the remarks of our great senator from Northern California, his remarks, and recognize the thousands of firefighters that have come to my district the past few years. As everybody knows, with the tree burn that we've had in the Sierras, fire danger has been extremely bad, and we're looking at another very bad fire year this year. This summer, my district had both the Butte Fire and the Rough Fire. All these fires, by the way, in the last couple of years have been in the top 10. I mean, they've been catastrophic. Thousands of firefighters worked tirelessly to contain and put out these fires and help the thousands of people that were displaced. The Butte Fire lost over 350 homes, and we're still finding homes for those folks. In 2013, it would be hard to forget the Rim Fire that burned almost 250,000 acres. In each of these fires, CAL FIRE was on hand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, saving rooftops and protecting communities in the 8th Senate District. Nobody does it better than CAL FIRE. My sincerest thanks to CAL FIRE and other fire responders for their bravery and their help. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Berryhill. Senator Nielsen.
Mr. President, ladies and gentlemen, the Senate on the same issue and with praise, heartfelt praise for all of the responders. The responders from all over the state. When such events occur, if you travel up and down the highways, as many of us do, and certainly me, you see engines and emergency vehicles just pouring in. Without question, they hasten their ways up to the command centers and courageously dispatch themselves out to their duties. On this particular fire, I remember wending my way up Highway 20 coming down from Tehama County to go up to the command center in Lake County. And after visiting up there and being a part of the briefings, coming back down the Rumsey Canyon on Highway 16 and watch the engines deployed down there putting out the resurgent fires. Even the Army Corps of Engineers putting up a pontoon bridge, 2 pontoon bridges in fact, so they could head off another fire starting up. Having represented that county that Assemblyman Dodd and Senator McGuire now represent, and knowing that area, particularly Cobb Mountain, where I know personally some families who lost their homes in that terrible, terrible blaze. It's hard to rebuild your lives, particularly in small communities like Lake County and the counties that I represent, or Senator Berryhill represents. We have to rally together. But further, we have to look ahead, for these fire conditions persist in California. We've had oversight hearings in the Senate this year on clearing up some of these accumulations of fire fuel in our forests and our watershed regions. I've been pleased to see the dispatch and the resolve of the administration to get that job done. Part of it has got to be related to biomass cleanup and conversion, too. We cannot just look back. We must look ahead, doing things that will prevent such cataclysmic fires, harm people, harm animals, and sterilize the land.
Thank you, Senator Nielsen. Under motions and resolutions, without objection, Senate Rule 55 will be suspended for today's floor session. Senator Pan.
Thank you, Mr. President, Senators, and it's an honor to welcome to the Senate floor members of the North Franklin Business Association, Ms. Barty Brown, Executive Director, and members of their board of directors. According to the research results of historian Elizabeth Pinkerton of Elk Grove and the approved National Registry of Historic Places application, present-day Franklin Boulevard was established as the Monterey Trail after 1839. It was used as a primary land trade route from Sutter's Fort to the state capitol in Monterey, California. Today, we recognize Franklin Boulevard, located in the county of Sacramento, as a historic Monterey Trail, a valuable historical asset and resource that adds to the rich, dynamic history and culture of the Sacramento region and the state of California. Please welcome the boards of directors of the North Franklin Business Association to the Senate floor. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you. Senator Pan, under privileges of the floor, I believe you have another resolution.
I do, yes. Thank you again, Mr. President, Senators. Today, I'm also excited to welcome to the Senate floor 7 California presidents of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. Margaret Mead said, "A small group of thoughtful people could change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." And the National Coalition of 100 Black Women embodies and champions this saying. The coalition was formed in the winter of 1970 when 24 women, led by the visionary Edna Beach, began meeting in their homes to assess the problems and opportunities left behind in the wake of the turbulent 1960s. Since their humble beginnings, the coalition has grown to include 66 chapters and over 6,500 members nationwide. This year, they celebrate their 34th anniversary and continue to be an organization of progressive women of African descent whose voice and force for gender equity and social political advancement drives meaningful change to benefit women of color. With me today are Frances Cohen, National Director of NCBW, National Board of Directors from the Oakland chapter, Evelyn Frazier, President of the Sacramento chapter, Maxine Hickman, President of the San Francisco chapter, Laverne Matthews, Political Action Chairperson of the Orange County chapter, Gwinnett Parker, President of the Los Angeles chapter, and Sheila Heacock, President of the Silicon Valley chapter. Please join me in welcoming these amazing women to the Senate floor. Thank you.
Welcome, ladies. Welcome to the National Coalition of 100 Black Women.